is a comic review. Any of the opinions, actions, or otherwise of the creator, unless otherwise stated, are not being considered when reviewing the contents of this work.
Hey guys, StarCraft here, and continuing on with my Marvel Zombie retrospective. First, I want to apologize for the music audio for yesterday's video. I didn't realize how loud it was. I did check it over, wasn't positive, so I will make an effort going forward to double and triple check everything before I upload it. I apologize, that was on me. Won't happen again. But now, after we're done with the little appetizer that was the first the Ultimate Fantastic Four opening 3 issues, let's get on to the main course, the original Marvel Zombies. And hold on one moment, I'm back, sorry about that. But like I said, the very first Marvel Zombies, and this picks up right where the other story right where the Ultimate Fantastic Four story left off. I mean, immediately after, with Magneto still alive, crawling out of the rubble, realizing that he did it. He cut them off. Yeah, he worked. But now he's trapped there. All the other Marvel Zombies are there ready for him. Funny enough, the Luke Cage is here, because originally Robert Kirkman was going to focus on Luke Cage until he found out, oh, Greg Land had drawn a zombified Luke Cage, despite that not being in Mark Millar's notes. So instead, he decided, after some suggestion from Ralph Macchio, the editor, not the actor, he makes a joke about it in the hardcover, that, hey, what if you just focus on the zombies? And Robert was the first, like, wait, really? Focus on the zombies? Are you sure? And he's like, why not? And thus, we've gotten what we've got, with artwork by Sean Phillips, who really is a step up from Greg Land. Very much so. Greg Land, again, just felt so off, but these, especially with the removed lips to signify when someone's been mutated or not, I always saw it as the first thing they ate was their lips as they transform. That way they could eat it before they tasted nasty. Magneto, he's not going down without a fight as he uses his magnetic powers, even using Cap's shield to swipe off the top of his head. Youch! And yeah, Magneto keeps on going on with the shield for a little bit until he's ganged up. But the thing I like about this is that there's no qualms. Everyone's a zombie, everyone's a monster, so they can go off, be taken off the board. They could be killed off willy-nilly. But Magneto gets word that there's still survivors on Asteroid M. He takes off Hawkeye's head, and we don't see it again. Keep that in mind for a future installment. But yeah, again, he's doing great, throwing an arrow through Thor's neck, making him almost impossible to speak, until eventually Wasp gets him, leaving him well open. And I love how he basically says, I hope you choke on me, as they start to rip him apart. And then it gets a very gory, they just eat him to shreds. Which again, given how he just helped save the day at the end of Ultimate Fantastic Four, that's really bittersweet. It's like he saved the day, put up a little bit of a fight, only to get eaten. Wow. That is just wow. Now, again, just to show the dark comedy, after they've eaten him, they're all chilled and cool about it, although Banner's pointed out how his stomach is burst, so now he has all Magneo's inner bones just moving around until eventually until it starts to rip right out through his gut. But then the Silver Surfer shows up, signaling the coming of Galactus soon. But yeah, they're like, yeah, more food, let's get them. Then eventually, Silver Surfer, he took off. Like, wait, where'd he go? Which is kind of anticlimactic. But here's the real twist a bit. Giant Man walks off, and it turns out he's kept Black Panther T'Challa in a chemically induced coma so that he can take all bits and pieces of his limbs so he can nibble on them. Try and keep his thoughts going. But then he also admits, as it's going on and on, even if they ever did find a cure, he'll still have a taste for human flesh, and that scares him. But at the same time, as we would find out in a prequel story, yeah, a lot of these people might not be as heroic as we thought. But I do love this. And Wasp shows up. They get into their usual domestic dispute. She chews his head off. Well, he bites her head off. Ha! Spits her right out. And then he takes off. Not realizing that, the sedative is wearing off. But he feels like, I gotta find some more. I'll be back. Meanwhile, Silver Surfer is just flying all around the world. All the zombies are seeing him. Many of them meet back up, and yeah, basically Tony's, giving them orders. Spider-Man is going through as usual. I ain't Aunt May and Mary Jane. Ah! And I love it how Luke Cage is like, I'm not putting up with this. But yeah, everyone is just talking and everything. Yeah, they're just like, they basically are like, hey, I think Hawkeye's dead. You sure? Hey, he took a bunch of my brain out, but I'm still going. So they're not sure if decapitation means the same thing. But then it ends with Silver Surfer summoning Galactus. And everyone's basically like, get him! As they all go after him. And yeah, Surfer just blasts so many of them. He's taking so many of them out. They're trying to get in close. Thor tries to hit him with his makeshift hammer. He's not worthy of Mjolnir anymore, obviously. Wolverine tries to slash at him, causing his unbreakable adamantium skeleton to rip out through his limbs. So yeah, no point in keeping that arm. Eventually Hulk transforms. He's hungry as there is, remember? As he then continues on until eventually Hulk just keeps tries to get in, gets zapped. Then he eventually, bites the Silver Surfer's head right off. Silver Surfer falls. Giant Man grabs his body and gives it to Tony and Peter, who are a bit crippled at the moment. Then Hulk, eats them. Everyone else rips him open and consumes him. Beast chews out Cap, and he zaps him with the Power Cosmic. Yep, eating Silver Surfer gave him the power. Meanwhile, T'Challa is heading down off with Janet's head. Yeah, basically she's still active, but they're talking she can still talk, even though she really shouldn't, because she doesn't have lungs or anything. I think they make jokes about that, but somehow she's able to do it. Until he's found out by those from Asteroid M, the Acolytes. Then everyone, they've taken down just about all the other non-cosmic powered zombie heroes. Even Thor. And the dead tastes horrible no matter how much you cook it. Then Galactus shows up, asking where's his herald. They openly confess, we ate him. What? And basically you hunger? You don't know hunger, as he starts zapping at all of them. They basically run for the hills and hide after they realize, this isn't doing us any good. So they decide to regroup and figure out what to do next. And yeah. And then meanwhile, Black Panther puts up a bit of a fight with the Acolytes, including Cortez. But even with his missing limbs, he's still an ass kicker. So they agreed to take him up top. Meanwhile, we're having Spider-Man and Luke Cage playing Go Fish, while everyone's trying to discuss what to do. Again, all of this is just a bunch of dark humor. Banner rips through its gut, takes out a piece of the Silver Surfer, and re-eats it because it's still having that taste. Everything to just stay off the hunger. Meanwhile, the villains, zombified villains, are attacking Galactus. And T'Challa is brought up on board top to the up on top to Asteroid M. He's then asked to Cortez then tells Hendrix to keep an eye on T'Challa, and she basically I'd be happy to. We also find out that Forge has survived as well. But yeah, basically all the geniuses create this giant weapon that's designed to take their cosmic energy that they have, use it, and zap Galactus, hitting him hard and taking out some of the villains too. Galactus then falls. That hit doing a lot of harm. And then all the villainous zombies come charging in. And great action sequence. They just come in for the charge. You have Juggernaut charging. But then Wolverine takes him out very quickly after he stabs him and then zaps him. Again, everyone is just doing great. But they lose Colonel, not Captain, Colonel America, when Red Skull rips out his brain and tosses it. They take him out, of course. And you just have everyone getting killed. You even had earlier, where was it? Oh yeah. Eddie and Venom died. Eddie was no longer a suitable host anyway. All the villains are dead, and then Galactus gets up, weakened. They charge, and much like Magneto earlier, they devour Galactus. They didn't give him an opening. 5 years later, the Acolytes and Black Panther come down. Hendrix carrying a young child. She is since married to T'Challa, and they have a son. As they are looking around at everything, the grass has grown. Apparently Wasp is now given a new body, and the hunger is no longer within her. As they look around, they wonder, they're not here. Where did they go? Meanwhile, on another world, we're seeing just these alien races talking. They're worrying about Galactus is coming. And, come on. Sure enough, Galactus is here. Or rather, Galacti. All of the remaining zombies with the power of Cosmic have taken on the roles as the new Galactus, going to each planet and consuming not just the people, but all worlds, ending this first miniseries. This is what I love about it. The dark humor, the great art by Sean Phillips. Everything about this was incredible. It is just so... It crosses the line multiple times. It is just so well done. And there's a reason why people love this, because your favorite heroes are doing stuff they normally wouldn't because of the hunger. You see people just getting whapped off left and right. You see anything can happen in this. Like again, Silver Surfer showed up, gets eaten. Galactus showed up, gets eaten. It's like, wow. And you almost want them to get eaten. At the same time, you are more worried about T'Challa surviving, and that you then forget about him as you focus back on the zombies again. And like, they're doing mantra stuff, but you do feel bad when Colonel America gets his brain ripped out and he dies. Things like that. Again, it's so interesting of a story. And yeah, that's the starting point going forward. From here on, it's going to be more insanity. Although, except for tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going back to the Ultimate Fantastic Four for Mark Millar's final 3 issues that wrap up a lot of his loose ends and deals with the Frightful Four, the Zombie Fantastic Four, deals with them before we then eventually lead into the prequels. And on the prequel book stories and a follow-up to that cliffhanger, so finally we can get into Marvel Zombies 2. But we won't be getting into that for a couple of days. So until then, enjoy yourselves, watch your brains, and just see you tomorrow. Take care.